Hey, welcome guys to another video. I'm here back with my wife again, and as promised, today we're gonna discuss the 10 differences or maybe some similarities between the US and Holland. So let's dive right in. First off, what do you think about this video?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I think in our last video where we talked about the story of how we met, we were thinking that our intercultural, differences and fascination definitely plays a role in what brought us together, and that we are both kind of like citizens of the world. We appreciate things from different countries and different cultures, and I specifically like Europe and he likes America, so that is a perfect blend.
Nice.
Mhm.
So, first off, I want to start with the first point, which is the big difference that I see with American people. I've been there now twice with you in the US, is that in Holland, people are a lot more to themselves. They are pretty much closed and they're a little bit sober-minded. While in America, I believe the people that I witnessed, including your family, they're very open, very full of life and energy, social. And that's not to put or bring down the Dutch people, but there is a clear difference in when American people meet each other and Dutch people, which is a little bit more sober, more neutral, and America is more warm, I think. And yeah, what is your...
Yeah, one thing I noticed in America is that if there's like an issue going on and everyone is witnessing the same issue, people love to kind of like talk about it and look at each other and make comments together and make jokes together. But I think here in the Netherlands, if there was an issue, it wouldn't be as bonding. People would just kind of still keep to themselves. Like if there was like a difficult customer at the cashier in America, if everyone saw the same thing, they would be like looking at each other. It would just be like a big inside joke. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
People are a lot more like willing to joke with one another even when they're total strangers.
Yeah, and I think in Holland that's a little bit unusual if that were to happen. So, but yeah, so American people are more social, I would say, more open, and yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, and that is when we went the first time to America. I went the first time to America, and this was last year in around April, May. And I knew this already beforehand, but everything in America is XXL. Everything is big.
Especially the people. I'm just kidding. I was trying to make that joke. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, everything is big, meaning the portion sizes are big, and the roads are big, and
the entire infrastructure.
Houses are big, streets are
the
wider.
Roads.
Actually, is it that America's big, or is everything in Europe just miniature?
Everything is miniature in Europe. Everything is miniature, small in Holland. You drive your car on the highway and
They're
there's
like toy cars.
it's like 4 lanes and that's it. While in America or in California, there's like 7, 8 lanes.
Yeah.
And you have to look everywhere. But I must say, despite it being that big, everybody kind of feels each other on the road. Nobody is like speeding that much, you know. It's all between the speeding limits, I would say. Everybody upholds the law, I would say, so that's really well.
Not everybody, but
not everybody.
There's
most
order.
people.
Yeah, there's order.
Yeah, and it's super big, including the malls. You go to a mall and there's like, and let's not speak about the parking lot. There's so much space. You can park your car literally everywhere. So
lots of parking.
Lots of parking.
Here, no parking.
No
parking.
You have to fight for it.
Yeah. And you have to pay for it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Even in
Paid
like a
parking
small town.
It's something they don't know in California. So
not everywhere.
Not everywhere, but in Holland it's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
We live in the south, you go to the north, it's the same. So. Alright, let's go to point number 3. The big difference that I noticed between American people and Dutch people is their mindset. And in America, yeah, they kind of are encouraged to think in an entrepreneurial way.
Mhm.
A lot of people have their own business,
Mhm.
and
There's a lot more hustle culture there. Everybody has a job and a side hustle, it seems like.
if you ever heard of a motivational speaker such as Jim Rohn or Tony Robbins or even Chris Gardner from the movie Pursuit of Happiness, these are all entrepreneurs and they all speak of changing your mindset, changing your life. So yeah, that's super interesting because in Holland, a lot of people, they may be thinking, oh, I want to do the same, but society tells them if you stick your head too much above the cornfield, then you're gonna be chopped down. So here it's a little bit more quiet, a little bit more sober.
Yeah.
And in America is like, if you really work hard for it, you can achieve it. And
Yeah. The American dream. And here they have really high taxes, so that's also discouraging for entrepreneurship.
yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the tax system in America is more built for the entrepreneur.
Yeah, there's a lot
Then-
of write-offs you can get
yeah.
and everything.
So,
Yeah.
my next point is the healthcare system. Because what an incredibly care we had, like when you were giving birth
Here in the Netherlands.
here in the Netherlands, and the healthcare with the midwife and everything was
Really good.
really
Yeah.
good.
We got to have a home birth, and everyone was incredibly supportive of that. It's a country where they have a lot of home births here, so it's normal and it's appreciated and celebrated, so that's really nice. And everything was so smooth, and afterward they had people come to our house every single day for 7 days and help us with cooking, with cleaning, with looking after the baby and getting adjusted to our new routine. So that was really, really helpful.
Yeah, everybody was super nice. And they were really taking good care of us and the baby, giving us so much tips.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the healthcare is affordable here. Everyone pays like less than 200 euros, which is like less than $200 per person, and you get all this amazing care.
Yeah. So, good points to have that in the Netherlands. Yeah. So, and then we go to our fifth point already, which is the cost of living. Because if you're living in Holland, there are a lot of people that feel the pressure of rising costs, the rise of the rent going up, the groceries, you can name it, everything is going up. And I'm sure in America it's the same thing. But yeah, there are some states like California and New York that even rise above that.
Yeah.
And if you want to live
Astronomical.
comfortably in California, for example, you must make a really good...
Like $1 million.
yeah, you gotta be a
basically.
millionaire. Or almost
Yeah.
a millionaire to
Yeah.
live there comfortably in California. So, yeah. Okay, let's go to our next point, which is the movies.
Yes.
Because I'm a huge movie fanatic and I grew up with all the cartoons such as Spider-Man, Batman, and obviously the Marvel movies and other movies and famous actors and actresses that played in incredibly good movies like Al Pacino, and I can just name like so many people, but you cannot obviously compare that to the Netherlands because they have like $1 million budgets and it's incredible, and what comes out of Hollywood and other places is like, that's what we are watching globally, you know?
Yeah, entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah, okay, and our next point is the vehicles, because like I said, everything in Holland compared to America is small, and that includes the cars. Because while in Europe the Cybertruck, for example, is forbidden to drive on the road because of its blocky structure and it's not really suitable to drive on the highway here, you see everybody in America, either in a Tesla, a lot of people in a Cybertruck, and even with public transportation, because in the US there's like companies like Waymo, and we do have them in some places in Europe, but not to the extent that is being used
Yeah,
in
there's a lot
America.
of electric cars, well here there's a lot of electric cars too, but a lot of bigger electric cars like the Cybertruck and yeah, just bigger cars in general, right?
Yeah, definitely. Here they have all the small model cars, and in America it's big, it's part of their culture, and yeah, the bigger the car, the better for the road.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my next point is politics, because, well, I grew up in Holland, and every year, every 4 years, we can vote. We have so many political parties here, like you don't know where to look.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in America, they only have 2 parties, which is
There are more parties.
there are more parties, but the most common that we all know
Mhm.
is the Democratic Party and the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I would say if you look at it from this perspective, it's very easy. If you don't like the other one, you just go for the,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how they make it seem. But yeah, it's a shame that there's only 2 parties, because then what are the odds that you're going to find something that represents your beliefs in one of 2 options? In the Netherlands, you have at least 10 different parties.
You have a multitude of parties.
Mhm.
You can,
And they're all well represented in the political sphere, unlike the alternative parties in America.
yeah, so that's the big difference, I would say.
Yeah.
And the next point is customer service is a big difference in America compared to Holland.
Big difference.
Because in America, if you go to a restaurant, it's very common that you tip them between 15 to 20%.
Or more.
And they are overly nice to make you as comfortable as possible. Remember, the customer is king in America. And in Holland, the relationship between the waiter and the customer is way different, because it's a little bit more direct and maybe not as warm as in America.
Yeah.
So that's very common to tip. And in some states, like New York and California, it's even like the standard is like 20%.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, I like customer service in America. I find it much nicer. It's not that people are mean here or anything like that, but sometimes you just want to get a little special treatment. You want someone to ask how your day is going. I love going to Trader Joe's and having them make little small talk with me. So there's no Trader Joe's here, unfortunately.
So that brings me to the last and final point. And this one might surprise you just as it surprised me.
And me.
Because we watched a movie and it's called Queen Pins. Go check it out on Prime. And this is a true story. It's about 2 women and they are running a coupon scheme. And what's so special about this movie is it shows that there's like a special division from the government in America that are like postal officers. And they run around and they try to catch mail fraud, postal fraud, and they are armed. So you better not mess with the mailman.
Yeah, they're doing like SWAT raids for mail, and they're like, mail service SWAT team basically.
And I looked it up and it's actually crazy because they started in 1775.
Oh.
And this special brigade, so this is like over 200.
That's before America became a country.
Exactly. And that's when it existed. That's when it started, I mean. And then
Wow.
they were already trying to combat postal fraud.
Oh.
So
That's strange.
it's crazy.
Now I need to learn more. That sounds a bit strange.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh yeah, so apparently they don't have that division here in the Netherlands, but I didn't even know they had it in America, so.
We have higher classes of agents that work, for example, like with the airport and stuff, but not unlike a special postal agent. Like, so that one blew my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, with all these differences, we're all still humans, so we've got a lot more in common than we have differences. These are just some of the differences that we noticed.
Yeah, that's true. And if you, as a viewer, have any kind of difference that you notice between America and Holland, for example, please leave a like and share it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. And hopefully, until next time. Bye.
All right, bye.